Good afternoon, Lindy Mo from Auditor General.
And my name is Amanda Mulifi, Technical Advisor to the PAC.
Well done. County Officer.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and good afternoon, members of the PAC. My name is Tuso Godson Ramudimosi, Permanent Secretary, Minister of International Relations. I'm with Mayor Wisoko Mushabashebi, Chief Accountant. I'm with the Deputy Permanent Secretary for Corporate Services, Melorato Plaki. I'm with Oakanze Motakli, the Deputy Manager Admin. I'm with a Deputy Manager Facilities, Re Seyomunsu.
Ka gona la ile molato tota
Irra.
ba ne lo ba golo ke lona ba le tabonu re le kopa gore accounting officer o eme ka dinao o ikane ikana ka ba ile le khotsa ka affirmation topela ba ile here. Thank you very much.
I, Tuso Godson Ramudimosi,
Swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Finance Controller, a Chief Accountant. Chief Accountant. Ela jalo jaaka formana go na diri. Ya le bogam tsetso tsala morago
I, Boisoko Mushabashebi,
swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ra leboga Mamshebashebi.
Thank you.
Simolo ya rona re tere accounting officer o re neele a presentation of your executive summary. You take it as read, so you don't have to go through all of it. You summarize, and then after that there shall be an engagement by MPs. Ramudimosi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I shall be brief. The Ministry of International Relations, the way we are structured is such that we have 23 diplomatic missions that are located geographically across the globe. They are supported by 7 departments at headquarters. And our mandate is to promote Botswana's interests abroad. Our role is to build and nurture relations with friendly countries that are well disposed to Botswana across the globe. Now we do so through the implementation of a foreign policy. I believe, Honorable Chair, that you are aware that we don't have a written document on foreign policy, but we have drafted one which eventually we would have occasion to present it before the relevant parliamentary portfolios, including Parliament itself, for adoption. Nonetheless, if we don't have a written foreign policy, it doesn't mean that we are moving like headless chickens. We are focused, we know what we are doing, because the foreign policy is guided by what we call cardinal principles, such as respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of other states. That means we don't interfere in internal affairs of other countries. We have to respect them. as sovereign entities. One of the other cardinal principle that governs us, or that guides us as we engage with the international community, is the peaceful coexistence with our neighbors. And another principle that guides us is the peaceful settlement of disputes. It is better to, yes. It's self-explanatory. And of course, there are other principles that are guiding us, such as development, adherence to democracy, etc. Now, there are important mechanisms, Mr. Chair, that I would like to highlight that we use also now to advance this foreign policy. We have such mechanisms, such as the Joint Permanent Commission, with other countries, friendly countries, African countries, Asian countries, across the globe. And some of these joint permanent commissions, we have elevated them to a higher level, and we now tell them the binational commissions. For instance, we have a binational commission between Botswana and South Africa, and that commission will be chaired at head of state level, and it will discuss all the issues that are of concern to both countries, be they congestion at the borders, Martin's Drift or Tokwem border, be they repatriation of Botswana, and others as well. So this forum, it meets once in 2 years, so as to advance or unlock whatever issues that are of concern. And the good thing is that, when you have heads of states prevalent or sitting there, you are able to take quick decisions to resolve whatever issues are there. And of course, another mechanism is through state visits. It is very, very important that the heads of states do exchange visits in order to promote relations. Kana ha ona le botsala le lehatsi le lengwe e be botautona ba kopana ka bobone go mo go supa hela gore botsala bo lo botsela go godimo to lo botsela go mankaleng kaleng. And of course, the other way of promoting relations is through the establishment of diplomatic missions resident in those friendly countries. Like I've indicated that we have about 23 of such. And of course, we also do it through multilateral organizations where an embassy will be, on one hand, be accredited to the country that it is hosting, and then on the other hand, accredited to multilateral organizations. Let's take an example of Geneva. You will find that the Botswana embassy in Geneva will be accredited on the one hand to Switzerland. On the other hand, it will be accredited to the UN or all the international organizations that are resident in Geneva or in Switzerland. We have, of course, we have realized that we are not really deriving much value out of the relations that we have with other countries because of the limited coverage. We are therefore thinking of how we can expand this coverage, given the limited resources. We know that it will be difficult, to get money to get additional resources so as to open additional missions. But we are looking at how we can rationalize the missions such that we cover more or additional strategic countries, but using the resources that we have. So we are, like for instance, we have been thinking that our presence in Qatar, for instance, our presence in Turkey, our presence in the United Arab Emirates would add more value and will be more beneficial to Botswana. The other issue that I would like to touch upon is just to share with the committee that we are facilitating as a ministry strategic initiatives that the government is pursuing. For instance, we are looking at the strategic position of Botswana and say, I think it will add more value if we bid or lobby to host regional UN agencies in Botswana. Because by so doing, we know that it will create job opportunities among others. And another strategic initiative is through what we call the development of the candidature strategy that we have already developed. We will also have occasion to present to Parliament as well, where we are saying, let's look at all the international organizations of strategic importance to Botswana and see which ones we can position Botswana. Let's say, for instance, a position will open up in 5 years at the UN. We should be able to start as early as possible to prepare and even identify candidates who can fill that particular position or positions wherever they may be, and start the campaign as early as possible. We term this strategy the candidature strategy. And of course, the other strategy is the diaspora strategy. You know, I always like this example, Honorable Chair, if you allow me to cite it. If you go to Addis Ababa right now, you will see that infrastructure development is very advanced. And when you ask, you will be informed that people who are investing in this infrastructure are none other than Ethiopians who are living in diaspora. So they will be incentivized to come back to Addis Ababa and they invest. So we want to emulate that. There are a lot of Botswana who are well experienced with expertise living abroad. We want to leverage on them to see how they can help to advance the development agenda of this great republic. Honorable Chair, I cannot finish my brief remarks without touching on the welfare of the staff at the Ministry of International Relations. I'm 2 months there now in the ministry. And I discussed with the management that it is very, very important that for me as a newcomer, I know how the staff feel, how the morale is like. So we agreed with management that we organize a 2-day wellness event. Not in Gaborone, we choose a location outside Gaborone, and we go and brainstorm, network, sit down and talk to staff, let them air their grievances. It was very touching, Honorable Chair, if I may share with you that the whole day, listening to staff expressing their concerns, grievances, and even, devising strategies of how those challenges could be overcome was very touching. And of course, the second day, we allowed them to bring their own families, their children, and they played games. That kind of team building and bonding went very well. And I thought if we could do a repeat of such, it is a way of ensuring that there is a bond, there is teamwork amongst staff. But of course, there are other issues which have come to the fore, like lack of progression, to higher positions. There were also issues, let's just say staff welfare issues, conditions of service. Maybe I'll answer questions as they arise. Honorable Chair, I thought I should highlight those and end by correcting paragraph 3.1 of the executive summary, where we talk about the recurrent budget, and we have stated that the unspent balance is 3,928,111, when in fact it's supposed to be 13,928,111. Honorable Chair,
Still constitute 2%. Because if you add a 1 behind the 3, you have 13 million. Is it still 2%?
We'll quickly check on that, Honorable Chair.
Is how many? Is now one. Is 2 points. So basically, it's still around same figure. So it was just an omission of a 1 behind the 3. Okay. Yes. Any other correction? That is the only one.
Not at this stage. I think the other corrections will be as we move along, Honorable Chair.
Okay, that's fine. I now invite honorable members to engage with the accounting officer. I'll start this side. Honorable Dale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. PS, Yarudumisa le delegation house. PS, Linale office in Chua Mumain Mall. When did you acquire this office?
My understanding is that we acquired it last year.
Last year, can you specify maybe the month?
April 2024.
Okay, so the office that you have come in Mall, does it have Wi-Fi connectivity, sufficient furniture? Is it habitable?
I've personally visited the building. When you get inside, it's even better than the office, the headquarters, where we are residing right now. In terms of Wi-Fi, not yet, but we are working on it. And even the furniture, yes, you're quite right. Some of the furniture is dilapidated, but we are working on it.
Okay. So when did your officers move into the office?
If my memory serves me well, it should be around 2 months ago.
So you acquired it last year, April, but it was empty the whole time. People moved in 2 months ago. How is that?
My understanding, Honorable Chair, is that when we move into the building, the plan was to partition it, such that, in fact, the plan was to temporarily relocate everybody at headquarters, so that they are all accommodated in that building, whilst this dilapidated headquarters is being renovated under the DM projects. But then when the DM projects were suspended, it meant that now we had to relocate fewer staff to the new one. I don't know if I'm answering you, sir.
You have not answered my question, Pierce. You acquired it last year, April. You only moved in this year, April, maybe 2 months ago. Why the whole time you were paying for a house, a building you were not using?
Regrettably so. The way I have, also when I assessed the situation, I found that we delayed to move in, and we continue to pay rent. But like I was saying, we wanted to do the partitioning, and the partitioning could not be completed due to financial constraints.
Yes. So we were paying for an empty building for a year. Have you held anyone accountable?
I'm going to do so. Sorry.
I thank you.
So you admit it's a waste of resources?
I admit, Honorable Chair.
Okay.
You waited for the building to be partitioned. Maybe the question would be, is it partitioned as we speak?
It's not partitioned. It actually, yeah, no, it's not partitioned.
Yes, this doesn't look good. Please go and crack the whip. It's unacceptable to pay for this unoccupied house for a year. It's still not fully finished, but we're still paying for it. It's really quite unacceptable. I'm sure please. How next PAC.
So you are saying someone will be booked for this? Someone will have to be accountable for this?
Yes, Honorable Chair. Someone has to be accountable.
Okay. I agree with you, Honorable Mabeware. Re tlo kopana gape. A re bota bontse le ko ka le bega tsa mathata re tla kopana gape o tla re bolela gore mme o dirile eng ka seemo sone is because purely this is waste of public resources. Go ahead, sir.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. PS, but how about the foreign affairs? Haksan ke bereka gormente le nna ne ke lora tiro foreign affairs. But go kwa le hira jang go foreign affairs le hira jang? Do you advertise?
Well, I think because there is a large pool of in the database, the graduates. I think the database used to be at DPSM. Now I think it is at HRDC. So what we do now, we talk to them, and then they give us the staff with the requisite competencies and skills that we need. And of course, in addition to that, there are interns that we also, absorb or hire, and we liaise with the Minister of Labour and yes.
Okay, that's like you're maintaining. I've got another issue you're maintaining, but can I work about first entry, first employment?
Yes.
What about higher positions? I've never seen advert there foreign affairs. Do you?
Yabo Ambassador. Yabo Ambassador, Honorable Chair, the question is very clear. The appointments at that level. There are other positions, like for instance, there's a data management. We are looking for a data manager, as an example. And when you look in-house, we don't have requisite skills, so we have advertised.
I guess how are in account of what I advertise, level more HRDC, all in a data manager, how advertise or more quality, okay, take.
No, we don't advertise. I don't. No, I've been away for a while. I haven't seen an advert for other. Honorable Chair, Ghana Foreign Affairs is not a closed. It's not a closed service. So there have been departmental transfers, people wanting to move from one ministry to the other, and we have absorbed them.
Yeah, you got how we live. Yeah, how advertise. As you advertise, how we know about the Nella broader section of society, or whenever you take a home bar, apply. Parliament I apply.
I think it could be due to the fact that, to move from one level to the other. Let's be practical in this instance. If for instance, if you move from the C scale, C band, C1/C2, C3, and you have to move to D4, we may find that there are so many officers at that level. To the extent that if you were to advertise, wouldn't you be now dampening their morale further? They will feel that they are being overlooked. People are coming from outside. We are here, and there will never be progression.
Yeah, sorry, Chair. PS, kana recruitment process more rahorment tamalets. It is done through adverts. It's not automatic promotion. Has more commander kana commissioner ring semama le semama kyale promote. Ha ho advertise you. Ho compete you, and then a person gets a post. Is either you do internal advert kana waibula. War how dire hanku dira the internal advert within the ministry, hanku dira the adverters or the puts into the public service within the ministry. When our appoint halajaka commander kana commissioner.
Kind of the advert. Answer the more on Harisero.
This one I had answered. Yahore, if we don't have anyone internal, who is eligible with the requisite skills and competencies we advertise. Like I give an example of the data.
How when I answer home?
Er,
You are not convincing accounting officer. But DPSM never le habana le rona. Ke tswa le lona le ntse le hirelo le ntse le bereka le bone.
Re ntse re bereka le bone.
Re never le ha ba bua gore se se dirahalang gore 80% of the positions they advertise you 20% ke tsone tse ba lekang ya go dira internally. You listen to them very carefully. Ma parliament ke ba supi. Ya lona o ka re go lebega 100% lo sa mo teng go tsa lo tsa ba le ba supileng ka monwana go tsa ba HRDC a gona advert is quite surprising.
Kana ke le go tlhalosa honorable chair gore but when you have so many staff in your organization and you advertise because it's like you are limiting their prospects of progressing. So now I would rather you first look internally and look at your staff who be labor 24 hours and give them priority.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying DPSM was here saying 80% ba leba ba bulela mongwe le mongwe 20% ba leba mo teng. Lona go foreign affairs o go leba 100% le leba mo teng or le ya go HRDC me go sna advert. But anyway, it's your question you can run with it. I'm not convinced at all.
So are you saying you are PS? You're saying that you do not follow the DPSM policy or the DPSM's this as advised by the chairman, whereby 80% of positions will be advertised, 20% look inside. You are not obeying that.
I will say, we'll never want to run our own or develop our own rules because it's a whole gov system. We will engage. Let me say, Honorable Chair, that we will engage with DPSM on this issue. See how we can move forward together. We analyze the pros and the cons of adopting such approach. I would wish and beg that you allow us to do so, to maintain that approach.
Or even engage them so that you comply. Because you have been non-compliant as far as the DPSM dictates.
They will advise. They will tell us.
Somebody is not telling the truth here, either them or yourselves, because they came here and told us 80%, 20%. So you are saying you are going to negotiate something. I didn't think it was negotiable. But anyway, Honorable Mabeo, you have two more questions, and then.
Yes, like I said, a lot of people in the public service, I'm sure already it's a long but while it's our foreign affairs. Foreign affairs is a clique of like an elite group of people which you cannot penetrate. I'm sure I'm sure foreign affairs. But there's this elite clique of, I don't know how they are grouping themselves, but please, is government, let's treat it like government, let's please. And then Albert training. You've lost 1 in 10. You most of them laba release laba trainer. One of them has been grabbed by a Ukrainian embassy. Is this not risky for us? Trainer rona ka o tshwere di file tsa foreign affairs hambi go hirilwe ke Ukraine embassy. Do you see that as a risk?
Indeed, I will agree with you. You know, if wishes were horses, we would employ them. I've met them. They're very agile. They are very outstanding. They are very impressive. So if wishes were horses, if I say wishes were horses, I'm saying if there were vacant positions, we'll absorb them, we'll consider absorbing them without advertising.
Okay, sir. Nyame, I think I'm okay for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, PS.
Thank you, sir.
Nyame, make that issue about recruitment really it should be straightened. Honorable Kekgonere.
Thank you, Chair. Me re go dumedisa PS le team ya gago. Go na le the most talked about issue in the world today, the Trump introduced tariffs. We have seen yesterday or the day after Ramaphosa in USA with a team. What is our strategy as a country? Because as international relations, we take to or it's you who are trying to develop a strategy that could see us circumvent the challenges around tariffs introduced by USA. Are you on it, and what is the direction that you are hoping the country can take?
I think there is something that is being done, spearheaded by the Minister of Trade, obviously. And I want to believe that, my understanding is that I think very soon, if not next week, the two ministers of trade will be meeting to engage further. And when an opportune time arises, His Excellency the President will also have occasion to also engage the US government accordingly.
There is a lot of concern about accountability within our embassies and missions abroad or internationally. How do they get to account in terms of the funds that they go to the embassy? How are they audited? Are they accessible to Ronakwano in terms of audit? And has there been any action that has been taken more by Bereki Mbangwe? What is the magnitude toko tiriso madisante in our embassies and missions?
Indeed, Honorable Chair, I would admit that there are instances, we have picked those instances where there was violation of financial instructions. But action has been taken. But before that, let me paint this picture. In each diplomatic mission abroad, we have somebody we call First Secretary Admin, who works with an accounts clerk. Those people, we expect that every month they submit accounts, mission accounts, to headquarters. And there are those who receive these accounts, these batches. They go through them, they analyze them, and then from there they are transmitted to Accountant General's office. And of course, once in a while, an internal auditor would go around the missions. Be selective, of course. You can't go to all the 23 missions in a year, but he or she will do it in a phased manner. And then he or she also, the auditor will also pick certain irregularities which will bring to the fore to the accounting office. Now, whether they've been picked up by the internal auditor or the Auditor General himself or herself, the necessary action will be taken. There's an incident where we have taken such perpetrators to court.
So far, how many perpetrators have been taken to court in the last 10 years? Or how many perpetrators had to account and had actions taken against them in the last 10 years?
I'm trying to recall. Yes, but I'm too sad. Yes. We'll share.
Citizens in the diaspora, we are now experiencing Botswana ba ba mo mahatsheng ba tshela jaanong jaaka bathabi ba tsamaya ba ya mahatshe dipampiri tsa bone di a hela and yaanong ba bereka go sia from the security agents in the relevant country motho a tshelela mo go yone le ba thusa go le kae. Do you go out there to try and identify such challenges within our citizens in the diaspora?
That's exactly, Honorable Chair, why we always sensitize members of the public or Botswana when they are traveling abroad to ensure that they register with the diplomatic missions covering the particular countries they are visiting. It is to avoid a scenario like the one that we've just painted. But of course, you know, we are human beings. Some people don't want to be seen that they have visited a particular country. And then by the mission for personal reasons. But then, you know, a mishap occurs, which now compels them to now search for the mission. But normally, when Botswana, I do recall an incident. I don't know, it could be about 10 years ago. I do recall an incident, I don't know if I should mention a particular country, where Botswana were actually emigrating to that country because they were enticed by fly-by-nights for lucrative job opportunities. When they got there, they found that, no, this is not what they desired. This was just a scam. And, you know, benevolent Samaritan alerted the embassy. Hey, and the embassy was able to deploy the staff to go and assist, even with you know, travel documents. So we do assist, Honorable Chair.
Going to issue, yeah.
Me just maybe say a quick one. Ha Botswana ile ko mahatsi wena ngwa ba kalela sa khone go boa go tsa ba ipitela yanong a sa khone go bona sepe se ka motsetsang le na le di program assistance programs that are in place go thusa Botswana ba ntseng jang.
You know, it's a good question, Honorable Chair, and it strikes at the core of my heart. And you will see when we go through the memos, the reason, the situation that we are in because of our humanitarian approach to these issues. So, because we want to protect the image of Botswana on humanitarian ground. We say, okay, we'll repatriate you on condition that you refund. So, in an amicable agreement at that material point in time. But you know what happens? Once we have repatriated somebody is back home, he just now fizzles into the system, into the country. He disappears. We have to run around, look for that person, you know, engage Attorney General's chambers, and they are inundated Attorney General's chambers with these kinds of Rona, in the meantime, Rona, below the line account, school too. And now the PS has to appear here and account for that. So, you know, we have been brainstorming, you know, introspecting on this issue. You know, it's repatriation of corpses. People go outside the country, but like the corpse. And if you say, our consciences won't let us sleep. So it's a very touching situation. So Indeed, Honorable Chair, like I earlier indicated, they have to approach or contact the embassies. In fact, in our website, I think there are details, contact details of all the embassies globally.
Go ahead, sir. last two questions.
Oh, Honorable Chair, yes, there was the accountability. I'm being given statistics of 2 people here.
Your
That-
court.
We have
In the last
taken,
10 years.
that we have taken administrative action without necessarily going to court.
In the last 10 years.
Okay.
Thank you. Issue appointment of ambassadors and commissioners. It is quite a trend that the appointments is quite often done within the political space. How Lucy top or generally you are a candidate, you are ambassador kana bo high commissioner. Go ntse jalo me go dirwa ke eng ya bo di skill tsa teng di ke tsa mapolitiki thata kana ja.
Honorable Chair, Tata, here are the appointments of high commissioners and ambassadors. Tata yone hela, it's a prerogative of a head of state. And sitting here as an accounting officer and trying to veer into his space, I feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's safe to say that it is the prerogative of a head of state.
Okay.
If one may ask, within your statistics, lenale balekai ba de hongwe ba tswa mo sepolotiki as ambassadors and commissioners le balekai ba ileng hongwe career diplomats hela ba sa tswa mo sepolotiki.
You can only communicate through him because he's the one under oath. Are we okay? Okay. That conference should stop now. The conference stopped.
Well, I'm informed it's 5 against 18. In the
This is
past.
5 career diplomats?
Yes.
5 career diplomats?
Yes.
And 18 political appointees?
Yes.
There's no balance there.
No?
But anyways.
And 6 are vacant for political appointees. So,
No, I think you may have gotten the numbers mixed up. How many political appointees? 5?
You know what I wanted to say, Chair, while she's doing the statistics? We have made a case to the leadership, in spite of the fact that the prerogative rests with the head of state. We have made a case for consideration that there be, I don't know how to phrase it, a fair balance, if I may put it that way. Because our experience is that when the scale is tipped, the other side, it dampens the morale of the career diplomat.
Right.
So we have made a case, and sitting here, Honorable Chair, I'm confident, I am optimistic is the word, that the leadership will listen to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just give me the numbers so that I get them straight. In terms of career diplomats, political appointees, straight political appointees, like straight from an election lost you.
Political, you see now, political appointees 12, Diplomats 5, vacant 6.
Okay, you got the numbers right. Eh? Last question, sir.
Okay, ne ke re gongwe ke dira follow up on.
Can do a follow up.
The last question. Okay, thank you. Performance wise of these commissioners and ambassadors of the two categories, mapolitiki le career diplomats, ki ba hota itela o ka re ba performa botoka mo tirong.
Good question. Please respond,
Now-
accounting officer.
Now my observation is this. You know, Foreign Affairs is a very unique and privileged ministry because it has, one of the best skills mix. When you have former ministers, former permanent secretaries, it's a diverse competencies. And when you have a pool of resources like that, obviously, you complement each other. So, I may have
Yes.
experience.
Batho ba ga ba ye go kgobokanela ko lehatshe mongwe le mongwe le baganye lehatshe la gagwe. So you cannot say ka gore ba 12 ka ha ba 5 ka ha ba ira 17 and ko lehatsheng le lengwe hela go a sa no motho a le mongwe hela ba performance tota ko lehatsheng le.
Honorable Chair, they are an entity. The diplomatic missions, they don't operate in silos. It's a ministry, it's departments. These are departments of a ministry. So, even through heads of mission...
Chairman.
Surely, accounting officer, but you can then say, Nyayoko India, you le politiki. Career diplomat, in terms of performance appraisal of each of them, I think he's asking from that standpoint.
Can I please chip in, Chairman?
You can. Yeah.
Yes. Relax. Don't worry. It's a new government. Agaba or sepe bua marur. Ba baleke ba bogologolo. Bua ela putuluga bua ela mlete.
Ke gore nna Honorable Chair ke phuthologile tota ke ra gore la ha ke ipona ja ke phuthologile me ke batla gore ke gore performance when you are in a mission, because you want me to talk about a mission, individual mission. The performance, na hakili an accounting officer like this. Ke batla gore ha ke gauge performance ya mission, ke bone ile gore the targets that we have set ourselves in the annual performance plan are met. And I know that in each mission, there's a head of that station who is supported by staff with the requisite competencies and skills. So na ke lebella the end product. Gore amme this mission, the reports, say this mission, are they of quality? Are they meeting the targets? I think that is what I would look at as an accounting officer.
Tota o gana go haraba ka gore go go hello le ha thusiwa ke staff mme go na le head yo either e leng career diplomat o e le politiki ya la litselwa mo ditopo ya no tota potso ene le gore ke ba heba ba lebega e kete ba neela good leadership to the team mo embassy.
Ga ke itse gore a re ke le ra go diriwa an assessment.
Okay.
I am not aware of such.
Okay.
Gore go ga diriwa an assessment Honorable Chair. I just want to be as fair as possible. Gore me gone re be re ba nya ho ene ya ka Honorable Chair anaibu re so ha ke itse tota gore a kile ya dira.
No assessment has been done. I think that will pass as an answer. It's fine.
Yes.
I think can we start with basic things? Perhaps you can start by defining to the PAC what a career diplomat is. That should be the baseline where we start, so that di Botswana, we'll have better clarity going forward. Can you define what a career diplomat is? Because Mongole is a diplomat, I guess. Some are not career, some are career diplomats.
My understanding of a career diplomat is somebody who, like me, who joined fresh from tertiary institution, about joiner foreign affairs at the lowest scale, and then rose through the ranks. In my understanding, that would be a career diplomat.
Do you, in that period, having joined, acquire any skills that will separate you from a politician who gets appointed into a diplomatic position?
Well, certainly you would acquire skills, but the those politicians, Honorable Chair, you may find they even have more already requisite skills which you will need, you are lacking on foreign affairs.
So being a career diplomat doesn't make you a better representative of the country abroad. Is that what you're saying?
That is why earlier on I had said, Honorable Chair, that you need this skills mix to excel, to do your utmost best where you are placed.
Yeah. Last question, please.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. You had staff retreat on welfare issues.
Yes.
Yeah. What were the major concerns, Tsabone, as far as their welfare is concerned, and how have you proposed to address them?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. One of the concerns was favoritism when it comes to maybe deployment. There was a feeling that some people are posted to prime stations, so to speak. Others are posted to hardship stations. Progression, some felt that they are not progressing as much, or they are not progressing as expected or desired. And they're even saying that some people are overtaking them, if I can use that loose adjective. So, what else? Lack of equal opportunities, equal treatment, lack of respect by senior officers. So largely, those were the issues. But the question is, how are we addressing them? We are seriously addressing them. First of all, we tabulated them into a matrix. Together with those recommendations. Remember, I had said they even generated or initiated or suggested recommendations of how we could address them. So we have tabulated a matrix, and as senior management, we are strategizing to see how we can resolve. In fact, some of those concerns, they are just low-hanging fruits, like lack of services in the bathrooms, etc. So we have seen that there is the promotions board, if I may be honest with you, has not been meeting as a regular as it ought to have done. So that's one thing that we are instituting, that let's have a regular meetings of the functional structures, training board, promotions board, the deployment committee. Fortunately, we have, Honorable Chair, the deployment guidelines, which guides now the deployment process. Just an example, if you have served in a particular geographical location, fairness dictates that you can serve in another geographical location. More Africa. You would be given an opportunity to serve in Europe at some point, Asia, like that. Not for somebody to serve in Europe for the entire life of his or her work career.
Chair, the rider on what he just said from the question. PS, you have mentioned the guidelines. Ke batla go itse gore batho ba gago bao ba deployang ko ntle kwana, especially the support staff yaka bo secretary, bo accounts officer a gone kwana, ke ba which level, what scale ba e leng gore they can be deployed gone ko ntle kwana? Can you take say for instance an accountant o bore a go bereka ko embassy, kana what scale, like gongwe ba finance ba ba romelang kwana ba at what scale, bo secretary ke ba ba leng at what scale?
Well, talking about the scales, the head of mission at the apex is on E1. Then we have a deputy head of mission in certain stations, especially the ones that we term multilateral, the ones that I said earlier on, they are created to a particular country at the same time to multilateral organization. Because of the workload, you need somebody at that level. And then below that, we have a D2, D1, in some stations we have D1, some stations we have D2. And then below that, I think we have a C scale. So those are, and then the secretary, sorry, Honorable Chair. And then the secretary of the head of mission, they are served at D4, if my memory serves me well. So I wanted to complete. The account
staff?
C1? Yeah, it's a C band.
It's a C band.
It's a C band.
Okay.
CND. Okay.
Honorable Pologolo.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Good afternoon, Accounting Officer.
Afternoon, sir.
Right, so it is on record that you are a newcomer, in your own words. Perhaps this is why you saw a need for a retreat. The first question I have is, are you a newcomer in government, a newcomer in the ministry, or a newcomer in your position?
In my position, sir.
So you have worked for government before you were appointed PS?
Yes.
Okay. So the need for a retreat for grievances. Are you not aware of grievances amongst junior officers in government, and particularly in your ministry, so that you would need a retreat to go and address grievances? Was that even a proper environment for people to come and present to you their grievances?
You know, indeed, I felt convinced, even now, that that was the right thing to do. I don't know if you know the ministry headquarters, the office space. We don't have the facility to accommodate everybody from the cleaner right to the top. There's no such space in the ministry, nor the wing block C that we call block C here. So we deemed it prudent as management to look for a location where there will be no disturbances, telephone disturbances, calls. We need this, go and drop this letter. The messengers are not there, the cleaners are not there, because somebody's ushering.
Let's save time. It's a Friday.
So that was the best way
The next question is, the grievances as presented to you, to yourself, in Elesan Kaudukwa, because while you've worked in government, so is there any pattern of grievances that you've come across in your line of work before you went for a staff retreat?
Na, the grievances, they vary from entity to entity, depending on the circumstances prevailing there. So, how can now I am 36 years in government. I've worked in the Office of the President, I've worked in the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Can you just give short and straightforward answers? To save your time. And
I'm saying, Honorable Chair, that the dynamics of the grievances differ from organization to organization.
question, sir, is, did any of the grievances at a retreat, grievances that in your line of work you have come across? Just that question. Have you come across any of the grievances at the staff retreat?
Yes.
So at the time when you got to know some of these grievances, were you ever in a position where you could have addressed such grievances? It doesn't matter which ministry you had.
No.
So this is your first appointment as an accounting officer to take decisions?
In the Ministry of International Relations, yes.
No, question is, anywhere in government, some of the grievances that were presented to yourself at the retreat, did you ever come across such in any capacity you served, and particularly in your capacity as an accounting officer, in any department or ministry?
Honorable Chair, there's a reason why there's an accounting officer for Ministry X and an accounting officer for Ministry Y. And you wouldn't expect those accounting officers to be saying, I'll address the issues daily, or the way you're addressing them. Go.
Let me try to help.
Yeah, please. Unless I'm missing.
Well, of course, some of us, we have interacted with you before as accounting officer in other ministries. No pattern how look at pattern where the grievance, you kill why establish how look accounting officer in other ministries. And men in a higher rate, our honor, one only thing, or solve because I address the grievance itself.
Oh, I see. I misunderstood. I'm sorry, Honorable Chair. I misunderstood.
So that your staff will know or you're on top of your game.
No, thank you for that. Yes. I was even saying to my colleagues that where I've served also before, we would have a unit, Employment Relations Unit, and that unit is very, very important because all the grievances, on a daily basis, they deal with grievances. So yes, I've encountered issues like lack of progression and others. It's the deployment. Now I served in a district, a remote district. Therefore, I cannot be sent to another remote district within Botswana. And I said, yes, you are quite right. I was ever go Charles Hill, I have, Honorable Chair.
So in your previous position as accounting officer in other ministries, you were able to address the grievances. For instance, the grievance of stagnation. How about
yes, yes.
But were you able to address those? I think maybe he's asking.
They are structural. Like I said earlier on, if the grievance is about lack of progression to higher positions, and the positions are limited, it takes time for people. You need to mentor people, communicate with them, or they should be patient. But it's already opportunities will arise. In
doing some counseling,
so to speak, and they understand. And also the other thing is doing things in a very transparent manner. Communicating with people. This is what we have done, but really, so it has. And I'm sorry once again.
Yeah. I think, Chair, what actually decided the grievance is already healing.
We actually decided to make an hour. So, and two one and can dissolve a motokidi. I go around all the structure. It's saying we get the drawing like a batu, who was at some ICDO center, outside the promotion board and other relevant boards. So when I get the bonolo go di addressa di khangidi.
Kore, you know, some of us, we know that we may not have the opportunity to go to missions, for instance, work in diplomatic missions abroad, because of the type of work and, that we do and the positions that we do, like a cleaner. But they will be saying, why don't you send us to a refresher course or some training? This is a low-hanging fruit. You are incentivizing, by sending this person to an induction, a refresher course, you are incentivizing him or her. Le ene ha tswafa a retire o tla ba na le an additional skill sa ka itsetang ka sone.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. In our engagement with the DPSM, we brought an issue to her. Ya gore go na le babereki ba eleng gore they were subjected to some interviews, and later on they were informed that the positions were frozen. So perhaps this should be a question that I put to your ministry as well. Gore, have you, in your engagement, conducted interviews, and after close of interviews, there was no granting of positions to the interviewees?
This one I need some assistance, like I said, because I haven't experienced.
We've been very generous with you. I mean, you can consult. It's like you're only 2 months old, but normally we would not allow such consultation.
I understand.
You have a consultant right here. A question has been asked. Accounting officer would need some additional information or some information.
Well, I'm informed that there were interviews done. They were delayed but not frozen.
When were interviews conducted? I mean, we gave example of interviews that were conducted about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not in your ministry, but I'm just saying, because you are here, and you confirm that there has been some interviews, how many and how far back were these conducted?
I think it should be about 2 years back.
So, according to your own judgment, there was no legitimate expectations on those that participated in the interviews.
I beg your pardon?
In your own judgment, 2 years is not too long to deny people with legitimate expectation and morale at the workplace to be affected.
It is too long, Honorable Chair.
So you intend to do what with that?
I intend to dig deeper into this matter to find out exactly, establish what really happened, and take it from there, sir.
You were not briefed about this before you came here?
Well, I heard about it. There were so many issues, Honorable Chair. You know, when you are new and the briefings are coming from all corners, even the way the rate at which you digest even some of the issues, it takes a while. But I promise you, I will dig deeper into the matter, Honorable Chair, because it's concerning.
Do you, in your ministry, have cases where when interviews are conducted, there are some people who are left out despite having served in their position for more than 2 years?
I am not aware. What I was made aware of was that those who were called for interviews, although those who were not called for interviews had not yet qualified, they had not reached the 2-year qualification to be called for interviews. For instance, there will be maybe 6 months or 9 months in position.
So you are aware that once you've attained 2 years in a position, you qualify to be at least invited for an interview?
Yes, Chair.
So you can categorically state that none in your ministry was left out despite having qualified by the 2-year period in a position?
Because I've been informed that they are not qualified, I had no reason to disbelieve it. But like I earlier on said, that I intend to dig deeper into this matter, Honorable Chair, holistically, and see really what really happened, what went wrong, and how could we remedy the situation.
You'll dig deep.
Yeah.
Azura House now dig deep. In 2 weeks, we'll submit some report to our secretariats.
An update.
For total mirror dig deep. Why kalai? For hard time, Melosa Chara Sepe. Hands will dig.
It's a fair, yes, it's understood, Chair.
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier on, you stated that you acquired occupancy of a building, and 12 months later you did not occupy the place because you are awaiting partitioning, and now you've occupied it without partitioning. Do you reckon the place as habitable, and does it serve the purpose on which you were acquiring it for?
For me, like I said earlier, Honorable Chair, because I visited the place, I toured the place, I was, of course, I was satisfied with the outlook, safe for.
But you waited 12 months.
To visit it.
Well, to occupy it. Nothing has changed between the time you occupied and the time you acquired. Is it even bought or it's rented?
It's rented.
Okay, last question, Honorable. Two more.
How much is the rent? I'm closing this one because the
Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
We are establishing the figure, Honorable Chair.
Normally we ask to see contracts, especially where we can tell that you don't readily have the details of it available. So, Mr. Chair?
I think, we need a contract to see that. But me, Ukari, I can say, already, how issue Nelson Back assistant Sabo inform about what is going on in your ministry. We appreciate the 2 months, or it's a short time, but we're about to have a month. We still believe there will be those who will come here when I would 2 weeks. But Ukari, there are too many gaps. When we are not out to Peter Kabushar accounting officer. Every question asked one or labor. Otherwise, and that would be at the detriment of the service to the people of the Republic. Go ahead, sir.
In closing,
I'm on it, Honorable Chair.
You're on it,
But I'm doing my best, to know everything.
To familiarize
To
and
familiarize
acquaint yourself with
yes.
what is going on.
Yes. Rest assured.
Yeah.
Rest assured.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
in closing, because of time, Honorable Chair, earlier you gave your definition of what a career diplomat is. Is it in line with the Vienna Convention definition for a diplomat?
Well, I had said that was my understanding, and I wouldn't think it departs from the Vienna Convention.
Okay. So in your understanding of a diplomat, it is a career simply by experience. You can have a lawyer and have them in that, and they'll become career diplomats. Should that be the understanding I take home?
Not necessarily.
In terms of
Because,
your definition of a career, you were saying earlier, a career diplomat is someone who was employed from a young age and rise. So that is the understanding I want to arrive to get.
And trained in diplomacy or diplomatic field. So it's not like anybody who comes, whether you are a finance officer, you are a data management analyst, you are a graphic designer or IT, you can be called a career just because you have been serving there. I don't know if I'm...
Back to welfare issues. Vehicles. There seem to be a bit of a challenge in terms of mobility within government departments. Do you? they like e-mobility, apparently.
Yes.
Do we have the same challenges in your ministry? And if so, what measures do you put in place to ensure that work is done?
Yes, it is one of the issues really that cropped up at our general staff meeting, where drivers spoke vehemently that really there's if you look at the number of drivers, will be maybe total 11, but the vehicles we have around 5, so it means some of the drivers are not really engaged on a daily basis. It's a very concerning situation, but I am also familiar with the fact that, since I've been in government for a while, even where I was previously, whenever you submit a bid to acquire additional vehicles, you'll be informed by a particular structure that deals with the budgeting for such that there's a moratorium of procuring additional vehicles. But Kana, we are a ministry that hosts, very important people from outside the country. We need proper and, high standard vehicles. Therefore, the issue is to engage further, not to give up and say there's no money to buy additional. It's to keep on knocking on the doors of the powers that be so that we are listened. We hopefully will be listened at some point, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Honorable Lesedi has just given me an indication that Uta participate aboard leading financially. For now, you will not have a comment. Honorable Tauzani.
No, I'm okay with
Okay. Okay. Just let me get a limit. Saka. Hera ka mabaka nako kere sengwe sa dilo tse ke itelang ke tshwenyega ka tsone mme gongwe di le misplaced ke sa itse ke gore on the one hand rona re ka kwano re le mapolotiki re na le go bua ka kgang ya FDI re bua thata ene kgang eneo foreign direct investment. Mimongwe hela tabaha libile tiro ya lona o ka tsaya gore you are better placed to help in this regard. Go leka go attract FDI to Botswana. Ga ke tsora ke ngwa ditiro tsele di dira go leka gore foreign direct investment e flow to Botswana.
Indeed, Honorable Chair, that is one area that we greatly assist. And we have entered into a partnership with Botswana Investment and Trade Center. You may not be aware of this, Honorable Chair. If you look at our mission in London, it houses BITC staff. If you look at our mission in New Delhi, it houses BITC staff. In Johannesburg, we used to have a BITC office detached from the mission in Johannesburg. But a month ago, the PITC management approached us to say that, to call for the merger. So that because they are cognizant of the fact that we are in this journey together, what we do is complementary. Therefore, we should create tshwaragane kgetsi yone ya tsie.
a mme hela go leka go supa gore gone mme lo a dira ebile le leka go tisa foreign direct investment mo Botswana o ka mpha dikai ke kopa tse pedi hela tsa high profile FDI attraction that you may have done in the past 2 years. Good. The ones where our embassy, gongwe bereka le BITC, e di kgonne go attracta high profile FDI to the country. Just two.
The investment flows, they take time. This company, the mission will do its paid work, and then you may realize the results only 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line.
I'm looking for those. I mean, we have been around for a long time as a country.
Yes. I was trying to reflect, Honorable Chair, as you were asking. Because now when I was in Brussels, I was trying to recall quickly that go Brussels. I used to be based in Brussels.
Oh, you used to be in Brussels?
Yes, we used to run around and knocking on doors, making those companies, but you know, sometimes once the diplomatic missions will start this paid work, the knocking on the door, the meeting, and then once these people come into the country, and they will be handed over to other entities who may take care of them. And at the end of the day, it becomes a little bit blurred. No company at the time. It is to kebang.
Yeah, me gona le ka identify le one gore kana e initiate le ke rona ke ja no ibile go Botswana ya no itsisitse matsebise ba madi mo Botswana.
Yes,
at least two. Gore ha ke batla go checka hela gore a me gone go mo go a diragala gore e re le kwa jalo go nne le tiro e le dirang ya go tisa FDI kwa ka lona di office lona di gone ko go mahatseng a se mme go lebega ke toka ra gona information me ha e le roka re ntso o dika deep mo bona sengwe nko re nele tse pedi hela tse lakanya gore lona la di simolla la linka le BITC gongwe le ba bangwe le tsa hela di tsile.
Certainly, Honorable Chair, there's a lot we'll give you.
You say there's a lot?
There's a lot we'll give you.
There's a lot, but you can't even tell me two.
I was trying to recall, but we'll submit. We'll submit on our commit.
Same say, o go ngola pile kana gongwe o ntse le motho wa bereka thata ke re go ithuta mme hela nna le ke akanya gore hela ga ke bua jalo o tla bona le sengwe se o kare company ya go nna nne kana ene ata e tswa ko India go tsa ko England go tsa ko kae e tsisiwa ke gore ne ra nna le sabe mo go yone mme ke tsa gore ya utwala mme go ke e nne ngwa di khantse o nna o di beile ga o hilwe yana thata ka gore nna ke dumela gore tota sengwe sa dilo tse di tona se re se dira ke sone se kganya career diplomats ke tsa gore it has been sufficiently canvassed mme ga e le gore a bona ope yo mongwe yo batlang go akgela re ka ya ko dipalong
gongwe ya bogelo hela ke ile ya rente ya building e le occupyileng ya office ya lona gore ke bokae ga ke uta o ya rap.
Sorry, what about the office?
Yeah. Ba ekwala.
Oh, the rental. Yeah, this one.
No, the one you acquired.
The one you acquired, yeah.
12 months ago and only occupied 2 months ago.
How much?
348, 389.90.
On monthly, per month.
No, how we are lot.
Sorry, no, 348,389 pula 90
per month.
Per month.
So we have paid almost 5 million without occupying the building.
That reflects so.
Okay. Just one quick one. Go on. Gore ha gona le bana ba bantsi mo ba e leng gore gongwe ba ka batla gore ka gore ditiro a di bonale gongwe ba ka batla go batla ditiro ko mahatsheng a mangwe re ka ba raya ba lo bona ka lona na le contact
Irra.
ee
Irra.
ka ra mo itala bana ke gore na ile gore wa bona gore mono go padile yaanong gongwe a batla go ka batla tiro go sele o ka ya ko foreign affairs a re nthuseng go connecta le
Yes.
ka ra mo yaanong ba simolola ba hela ba tseba ke di-employment bogus employment agencies
Ba ka re bona.
ba ka le bona
Ba ka re bona, then ba e leng gore ga ba kgone gore bona, they can even go into the website yone ya rona, because whenever opportunities arise,
Yeah.
they are deposited into that website.
okay
Yes.
Honorable Sedi from Serowe and technical advisor and the 3 AGs. Let's go to the financials, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Accounting Officer.
Afternoon.
Your team Arengo, page 1, part 1. Yeah, our memorandum of progress. Page 1, the first part, kind of table, we memo. Second one, we memo.
Sorry, on the second one.
Yes, sir.
Go leba ga re na le mathata a dikago ko mahatsheng a mangwe ga re di reka. Go ka re di reka go sena due diligence. Ko America ke ha re rekile ka go ke e se in good condition. Ra patresa tsa go duela almost half of what we have paid on top. Ko China ke ha re rekile building ke me ha re letello go nna le lehatshe ko China. Nna re tsone di ka go tse. Sorry.
Nya o itshwere mme ke ko page 2 se. Ne ke re ke leba mo page 1
Le mo page 1.
e re mo page 1 gone mme o itshwarela le ka ra go ne ke re page 1 it's ke di memo, then page 2
Gone mo
o ka tsena gone hong
gone mo page 2.
On page 1, there's an issue that.
okay Honorable Pologolo na le issue ko page 1 Honorable Pologolo.
Well, on the second, the second table,
yeah
unless you are satisfied with the comment, I think it is lacking in detail as to 500 to duelwa kai jang hanne go rileng.
yes sir go ngwana se se very important ke gona gore gape ha o te financial year 23-24 ka re aga go itsa pele go tsengwa di details.
Yeah, I think Honorable Pologolo has a point gore
No, ke mo tu le ne ke just to add on that.
financial director motho o duela 500 pula mme le gore tota madi a kolotang ke 61,000 o duetse 500 pula ka 2024. Okay. I guess you are looking at the seriousness of all this. Yeah. The person owes 61,000, they pay 500 pula. What is this finance director or chief accountant?
This officer was o ne le mmereki wa rona ko commissioning. This officer was a maid commissioning. So na end of contract ya ambassador be go ra go rona le overpayment of salary ene le gore e tsamaelana le FSA e be go ra gore di benefits tsa gago a di kgone go cover.
Nya gore ke o duetse 500 o kae o nyeletse go tsa
O mo duela ko agents chambers ya no ha ba sena go duela ke gone re dirang adjustment ya no na ka ska di movement because ke ya 2023-2024.
nya e siame kgang ke gone gore kana no bo honorable committee tsena ha ilong gore go kwadilwe financial year 23-24 hela be go hella go no ha go informe committee sepela gore kganye kwa attorney general una kolota bokana ka ngwaga gore raisa case kwa attorney general go mpieno case yeah ke sone se ba re kang gore ba eko go sone. But at least go siame o ta provide this information gona le gore o e botse
ga so re attorney general o ka re bolela gore a bone ba mo itse motho ba kile ba dira le.
But Chair, what is really important is the background of this debt. You see, we wouldn't be asking a question, but it is the background of the debt that is very, very important. How did it occur? Was somebody careless on making this overpayment or what?
Can you further explain, Finance Director?
In a made commissioning, at the end of contract, they are bonele, Yahawele ambassador, about overpay that month. Kahuran assets are will, Behorahore, Ochansore, who deduct Madi from her benefits, Behorah Hadilekan, Behosalason School, Yan Woodwell have what they say ages.
Chair, now I'm not satisfied with the answer.
Yes.
You know what is important? We are trying to see how the debt occurred. This kind of overpayment, as you are saying, in a was it a one-time lump sum figure or in a loan? On a monthly basis, terminate we need to have a true picture of exactly what happened for you to have overpaid. Can I, if you just term it overpayment, it means many things. You might have mistakenly paid her in dollars, and when you convert it, it becomes to this in full amount. Or you are still running short of telling us how the debt occurred and when. Here the opening balance is as at the 1st of April 2022, and her first payment seems to have commenced the 23-24 budget, financial year. But when you take it as an opening balance as at the 1st of April 2022, it's not giving us a picture of exactly what we want to hear from you as to how this debt happened.
Me, Kitsaur Utule Talosa, Chief Accountant.
Sekoloto se ke tlhalositse gore o duetswe salary le FSA kontraka e setse e hedile a setse a boetse mo Botswana a ba duelwa jaanong ile ha duelwa di benefits tsa gagwe be di sa lekane go covera madi a teng le go sala balance
Ho re motawasane o batla go itse gore o duelwa ke ma ene motho o mo duetseng a hetsa le mo Botswana a ene motho a teng ha ke ka tselwa kgato e supang gore o na le negligent, na le careless, na le reckless, because u duela hela ene le motho a etsa a emeletse. A ke tura ke sone se o se batla re motawasane. Yes.
Happen through you, Chair, whilst they are calculating this what source to you, AO, these housemaid, like you've recorded, is this position exclusive to Botswana, or somebody can atsaya somebody from the neighboring country? I mean, I can imagine if it was maybe somebody from neighboring countries, would you be in a position to pursue that person? Kapo, it's clear that you have to take a Botswana to a foreign mission.
Yeah, because these are the ambassador, when he's appointed, he's given that prerogative to go with the housemaid of his choice or her choice. Ile Motswana. At the end of tour, because the contract would be tied to the other boss, then they will be recalled.
Well, let's not lose what Honorable Towson was asking earlier on. Mme gone ene motho yo ne a duela motho a hetsa a boetse kwano a ene motho eno ga le bone ke to o liable ha ile ora re kgone go recover madi a gore ene motho eno o liable o ka sa chargiwa ya ka go thoa go sa chargiwa ma driver yo ene wa go duela motho a hetsa a boetse go tswana a ke tsa re ke yone kganya ga go itona.
Yes, because what I was trying to establish here, Corey, was this a loan or what? Corey, I'm afraid of the overpayment part. Was this a loan or what? I couldn't get clear. Was it a loan or not?
Overpayment ya salary.
Salary and foreign service allowance.
Ato go be ya ram 1000 salary le foreign service allowance.
Foreign service allowance.
Yeah.
Chair, you know what I'm trying to establish here is that if you make an overpayment this month, you should be able to pick it the following month that you made an overpayment. You can't continue to be making overpayments continuously without picking the error. Therefore, if it becomes, I'm worried. You are saying a media, and the balance here is 61.5. And let's say already, from her benefits or whatever, from salary, from the benefits you took, and she still remains with the balance. That is why I'm asking if it's a loan or what.
61,000 yo khotsa madi a na kolota ne ga dira overpayment over how long? Overpayment e diruleng mo di kgweding di le kae? I think that's the question that also.
In simolotse le 95,000.
E le bokae?
95,000.
Ya no benna overpayment ya le bakle le kae? Ya FSC.
FSC ya 1 month. Asetsa buile.
FSC
foreign service allowance.
FSA. Foreign service allowance plus 1 month salary. So you're going to 95.
Honorable Chair, the foreign service allowance, that it's paid to the to staff, home-based staff, workers, Botswana, based abroad, is paid to them regardless of their positions. So, that is the policy currently.
Are you saying, from that 95,000, how much is the foreign service allowance and how much is the salary?
Let's check the first.
The allowance, house severance benefits, is it counted?
Normally, what will happen is that when you terminate the service or you are recalled, let's say when you terminate the service, whatever you owe to government will be offset, but by whatever you are getting. But sometimes, because it is
how much
higher,
is the allowance and how much is the basic pay?
We are trying to ascertain
that
yeah, we are trying to ascertain the foreign service allowance for Brazil. It's just to check the figure. Then salary. what I know is that the salary, Honorable Chair, the salary I think would not be, I think not more than
Foreign Affairs, I must.
Would not be 5,000 or so.
Foreign Affairs, I must say I'm disappointed with your grasp of what you are working with. I mean, some of these things should be very basic. But you seem to struggle on very basic information that we are requesting from yourself. This is very worrying. How much is the foreign service allowance and how much is the salary?
The foreign service allowance for Brazil is 68,776. Pula. Yes.
That's fine.
Here it's here. This is what we are working on it.
Yeah. Hi Lord, but we are center. I can get a more regular, but we are center. Kidumela ore. Yanu la salary on ekibuka. Salary ekibuka.
Subtract from 9560 something.
Chief Accountant, are you also new in this ministry?
Nyarra.
How much?
Nyarra.
I'm getting not the basic cardia. You have so good. As you trying to do so good. I think come better prepared next time.
Erra.
If I may make a follow-up. The basic key around 25, 24. And then this person has been in Brazil for how long? If it is 5 years, severances are how could you have paid this 95,000?
Yeah, I think there's no clarity. I mean, maybe like whenever any prospects or some clear answers here. Can we proceed and leave the matter with yourself, technical advisor?
But Helen, normally Hela salary will be on Yakwano Hela. The foreign service is supposed to cover for whatever standards of living, city called Hudson Lowland thing. Me salary on it,
I think that we should be getting from them.
Exactly my point. That's why I was asking.
Now,
yeah, check me fair to ask. Relevant.
No, they are very relevant. The problem is them.
They are not answering.
They are not giving us.
That is why I was asking. Made. At what scale? Can I assume at A or B scale? Which we would have a picture jam. But now, how about we got 95,000 token? They are giving us a picture where maid was paid. The allowance salary, how do you go 95,000?
Honorable members, sorry, I think we need to get them to resubmit on this particular matter because it's not very clear at all. Resubmit to the AGs and our technical advisor because I don't think one of the prospects are that Talusa Spaces will took a Mokayuni. More page 2, please. Let's move.
More page 2.
Me chairman. Thank you for this. Me haba hori submit. The table is a wanaka bunsiana hela tota din sejana. Ora haba hori submit ba te bar submit le the table it's hela. Ba talusis. Kra hor kana leone motive linyante. Leone re hitile kra re hitile hela melone tshwana hela leone because hello, what about the Office of the Accountant General to address the technical error? Communicate. But anyway, I think you, Mr. Chair.
If it's the technical error, it's the Accountant General willing at the beginning. Or that those ones.
Yes.
So yeah, technical error.
Hababu. Kidumalana now. Hababu technical error. Hagona sepe se se supang sekoloto gore bona sekoloto hela mme ga go bui a kry at the end of the day technical error e tshwanetse gore be ta ka sekoloto ke dipalo hela tse di sa buisiwe ha ele gore ke a go utlwala ga.
Yeah, and as we look at this, I'm beginning to think that in some instances people are returned so that they can, rectify and correct their books. I wonder if they could be candidates for that. But anyway,
Page 2.
Page 2. You had
Page 2.
On page 2.
Buildings were acquired go New York, local Beijing, but Wapala Hota secure letter of approval, Kanakidi permit, Kanakidi license that take up of age. Emwe, Yatwana go banka waka 16 million. Emwe, ko China, Haralete Lorga, Oinal hat, Yanu Kere Honeha, Olewa due diligence, whom I sadira. Redirajang and how have we rectified for going forward Belahare Reka due diligence in nothing because China there is a possibility and loss of right and loss of funds at the same time. For what are the mitigating factors that we have put in place?
In China, or Kaibu Angate, Ukar how Rekala has go China. How he will say it. Could learn a receipt. I get the title how quite never. Me receipt hella or rekile. Cause I sleep. Saur ki rekile. Lora hunki on nalese pesa muto. You may have to Google acquiring land in China and find out what it says. Because I listen to only sleep. Cause a receipt. Our title on hat I
There is a contract that we have.
Does it say that?
There is a contract that we have. So,
are you saying that here?
Yeah. In the
I read this last night.
But then again, there's like the Honorable Chair is saying, you may not own the land. There are two types of land, ownership.
yes.
Perhaps it's enjoyment and use of that land. And they issue a certificate to that effect. They may not be calling it a title deed, but they issue you the guarantee. You have the exclusive enjoyment. Whatever property is sitting in that piece of land. So this is what he's referring to. Can you source that so that we have it in your records? Clearly, the contract is between you and somebody who is selling, but this one is coming from the state to say, indeed, that is your land to use for that purpose. So source that and avail a copy.
Avail a copy to this secretariat. Contract go sa receipt. That's sleep.
Contract.
The contract
is a contract.
Ya male man ke ya motho na rekisa. Le ona reka ile Botswana. Mr. Puso. Mr.
Mr. Mkweke, kenela memudungwa.
Memudungwa. Kanke go rekilwe le hatse ga gona pampiri, except that now they are saying there's a contract here. How do you help interpret the situation, please?
Mr. Chair. Mele nna ke dumela gore go sentse re gona le sengwe se re ka ikegang ka sone se se supang thekisano ene ya go nna yalo.
You want that? Technical advisor.
It doesn't take away the fact that the certificate, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, something. Nkonele agente ke. Nkonele agente. Ya agente al ka kopanya dithogo ka bokhutswanyane ha. La re bolella hore pampiri gore iraeng. Amudungwa pampiri ke eng? Re ka tswelela because how o kana itela ka raitso a bua re lathegetswe ke lehatshe mme re duetse madi a kana re le lehatshe.
Yes, I think we're more page 3. While we are looking at that one, go Brussels. Officer yona kolota me ga heta nako e telele. Inele Botswana kana inele mo Belgium. Inele Botswana.
Mo Belgium.
Mo Belgium.
Yo karo dire semela ya go ga bona.
No dire semela ya go ga bone o dojitse. Thank you.
Still on page 3, Honorable Lesedi.
Sorry, no hedise ka ya Belgium.
Yeah.
Ko ra ke re yone ya Belgium go le ga ke tone ga nna le tiego ya go phesiwa motho yo. Motho ka botsa gore tiego e ne e tsalwa ke eng? Go ba go itela e le gore yaanong tiego e o e dirile gore melao ya ko Belgium yone o e re ga e le gore o togetse motho ka lebaka le gore yaanong o a se thola go kolota. Tiego e o ne e tsalwa ke do you know?
We don't know. We can assume that somebody did not or delayed to take action.
Yeah, somebody slept on the job.
Yes.
Somebody slept on the job.
Yes.
And what has happened to that person who slept on the job? There's no consequence. It doesn't look like there was any consequence here.
Unfortunately, this person passed on. So.
Who passed on? The one who?
The head of the station.
Okay. So
who ought to have taken action to the subordinates?
Did you seek clarity from Attorney General on how to go about that situation?
No, sir. We haven't.
Yeah, it means somebody else is also sitting on their job. Because AG is there for precisely for that purpose, to guide government on what to do in instances where you cannot reach the officer responsible.
Yeah. When they say they have passed on. Are the lawyers making progress that side? Are you able to advise or you need more time? You need more time.
Che,
yes.
Ho ngwe ne le ntshile ko page ga sa ntse re bua ka ile ya dinewele ya mantwa a rekwang ke puso. Ke botsa potsero one ya a khanya page page ke botsa gore a khanya ya ko ya madi ya o rekile se sa sele sa 44 million e se re innovate ka 16 a santse intse le teng kana le heditse ka yone kana this thing is appearing on the audits so tlhaela tse di hitile. You can imagine it's more than 12 even actually 14 years old now. I hedile as we speak now. The current status, I want to know the current status.
The one, Honorable Chair, Yoko.
Yes, sir.
My understanding of this one is that the embassy tried to apply for letter of authority so that they can be granted occupancy certificate. The letter of authority was not granted because there were no drawings for other facets.
Yes. I'm saying this case is old as about 14 or 13 years now. Occupation permit because of 1, 2, 3. 14 years down the line. Are you saying we are not achieving anything on that? What is the problem? Can't we get people down? They can bring those drawings and whatever that is necessary, what is needed by the department, their infrastructure go New York, so that we get this thing. Are we staying in it illegally or as we speak? Because of the occupancy permit. What is the status in 2025 as we speak?
There are, Honorable Chair, I digress. You know, situations like these ones and other properties also where there are some challenges, we have seen it fit to work together with the Ministry of Transport and Public Works to put up a team, a technical team of experts. But because I always believe that when you send your own team from Botswana to go and assess, they may have a different perspective than if you rely on the local company or the local entities to do the assessment.
Yes, in the last PAC, the same story was told. All I'm saying is, lead your own team. But bear in mind, the regulations, infrastructure, buildings. But whatever the defects that maybe are denying us to get the permit, there are requirements, allow experts this side, but we inspect. But we have been talking this issue for the past 10 years. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I found this thing and up to now, last year we insisted that come what may, we want this thing done. You are still talking about trying to get our expert team here, creating. What is the problem? Are you not able to put together that team here? Structural engineer maybe, a quantity surveyor maybe, and an architect maybe. You look at these 3 people. This thing, in a week's time, they are back here. What is happening?
Nekere tota ke go tule ke a go utlwa gore mo gongwe go ka tswa gape go raya gore ga le sena go bua ko PAC mo ngwaga o hitileng go raya gore ne ba innela ke gone bata jaanong go ntse seemo se tshwana hela se motho a ka se gakololang ke gore lehano tsa tsije lo se ka lo go innela attend to this matter because this matter involves Madiale hearts.
The ministers of finance, they keep on talking about Madia Duka. This is where Madia Dukante. Let us be honest. You are not doing your job completely. You are just holding positions. I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, but I'm trying to be factual about your negligence in terms of the royal loan. And I think we need to call PSP chairman.
Yes.
We can't continue like this as business as usual. No.
I agree with you. We have already agreed that at some point we will call him the PSP.
Chairman, as always, RF deadline our May tiroye would like diraleng ya put up this team ye udira tiroye. so that next time we get a better
Chairman.
update.
Hey, ke tsa gore a kere wa utlwa right gore nko re neele gongwe projection ya gago gore mme kgang e tshwana e gongwe o ka tswa o ka e hetsa mo nako e kae because it has been lying in our books forever.
Actually, on the
I thought
second
you
paragraph,
would respond to this. Ne ke re mo ta responda mo kgang ya gore ro go he nako e kae gore o ka re nya mme mo nako e kana e tao ke editse. We can't wait until the next PAC really.
Well, currently, because we've put up a team or teams that are also, dealing with other missions. They'll be going there in June. 3 months, I think a period of 3 months should be reasonable.
Chairman.
can I point you to the second paragraph?
That talks about
You
August.
referring to
Chairman.
page 2? Sorry.
Oh, page 2.
Chairman, this committee, ena le thata e le e heletseng ya gore ha ba sa kgotsofadiwe ke dingwaga ba ka busa ministry wa go ipaka.
Nna ke beile mo go lona.
Yes, sir.
Nna ha ke leng teng.
Kore ke ra gona gore ska ra di ke tera ipogisa kana ra ingongregisa ha le gore gona le ha re sa weleng sentete re nne very clear gore nya tsa malong go dira le be ditisa me sen is in 3 months che ka gore ha re ba busa gona re batla gore by next week yes sir.
Hey, I think are you proposing that or you are just saying it? I personally have long.
Can I ask something before we propose?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. We are
Can
not
I ask
making
you?
progress here.
Can I ask you, AO Gore, the response you gave to the same question that is being asked this time around? Can we have a common understanding of what your response is, so that even if Larry Bankan, this one we understand Gore it will be waiting. Unless I don't understand what your response is, particularly the last line on paragraph 2.
August. Ke yone 3 months, sir.
Okay.
June, July, August.
Honorable members, there is a proposal on the table that maybe we should return the ministry so that they can go and straighten out issues, and that would mean calling them next week on a date that we shall agree with the technical advisors and the secretariat. Gore bo go ipaakanya a ke bone mosola wa go nna re dikologa ha from the beginning ga re bone di answer tse re di tlhoka. So Honorable Mabel,
I'm in agreement, sir. I think gona gore so that ba tle ba kgone gore ba re arabe sentle a ba bua ba ye go ipaakanya and then come back next week.
Honorable Mtausani.
nna ke bone go na le mosola ke bone gore ra go tswa ka sepe ke ra la ka ba habi ke e tlang yo tle gore ba tota ke bone mosola wa teng. No, we have been saying this thing for as far back as I can remember, but ya ka no bua che kana batho ba ka re hetsa ka PAC ba go nna ha ga go dirwe sepe. So nna tota ke ne ke re gongwe let me just go with the committee gore re bona gore ba tata ba dirile space se siame are ba leke
are ba leke no ro phologolo tsa go ra dumalana are ko re le leke re le he chance gongwe le tsile le sa ipaakanya sente, and we will give you a date next week when you will appear before ourselves. Let clean up at least the explanation is that we are going to go more financially and elsewhere. We are sorry to say this, that we cannot continue the examination here. There are just too many gaps, and we are respectfully asking you lo go ipaakanya. And I think you agree with us, accounting officer, or the Taloso Radio. Lo go ipaakanya, and we'll give you a date next week.
Mr. Chairman, ke ne ke re o siame o tsere tshwetso hang kae kae gana ke ra ka committee mme go ngwana le issue ya ene ba attorney general ba ethodumetse.
Yeah, that will be part of the preparations. They should also do it by cover. One of them people very excited lawyer mo pressure e kana kana. Raskela mane me itare bolele le gore Oscar nela lawyer na go ikutshwana e ta go jesa. So nela lawyer se bakanyana e ipakanya.
But ne ke re ba guide gore ha re gore ba go ipankanya ke ne re se re tsene le go go tse dingwe tse gore ba guide gore ba ipankanye.
I think the guidance that we can render ko rona di khantse he se re raise go mpie. And honorable Sedina Ntsagwa a supa gape le di thaloso hela mo di table ntse tsa bone le tsone ba di khatlo hela sente di utlwa le gore tota ga the detail ke in each of the tables ba di providang mo go rona because tse di mo go kwalwa hela phrase eo ka ska wa khona go ithaloganya. So ke yone guidance, and we are also saying we have our technical advisor here Mamulifi ha gona le sengwe sa se le batang le guide mo sone o ta dira jana a ke ra utwana batho eso le ta ri tshwarela re patelsa go tsa tshwetso ntse jalo. On that note, I think we will ask somebody to lead us in prayer. No go rapetse no ka
Nya maketswa le mare tshego ha tse letsatsi ke bona re mo re go lebogela lerato rra le paballo yo o thotseng re babaletse ka yone re kaela rra ka bothale ja gago go tsweng hano go apere gore tsotlhe re di direle mo kgalalelong ya moya wa gago boitshepo ra batho ba go ke ba phatalala le mahelo a harologanyeng ra le godimo re etelele pele rra re sireletse rra o modimo rra le mo nakong ya gompieno ke gona mo ke reng a tshegogatso ya gago lerato le kabelo na moya wa gago boitshepo di nne le rona ka bosena bokhutlo. Amen.
Amen. Modimo lo ba balele lotlhe. Thank you.
Thank you.